your topic, yet it was obvious that the topic was internal to him because that was what he already knew. It wasn't like a typical research report from when I was in the Air Force where it was like, okay, let me read the first point, let me read the second point, now the third point, now let me recap my 3 points. No, this was what Brad does, the embodiment of all those various, as I like to call Renaissance man things that he has encapsulated within him. Starting off with the history, what validating him in an area of expertise. Age 12, building a computer, phenomenal. Writing your own operating system, have a hard time figuring out a current operating system, let alone writing one. That's phenomenal. Your use of the stage here to actually indirectly promote your business also is tremendous and something I recommend for all of us. We're putting time into putting together speeches here. Let us learn about what you do so that we know about you and your business. As Debbie was saying, one of the benefits of being here is not just the networking, but getting to know each other and your expertise. So we learned a lot about Brad's expertise. But it was done subtly through what he was presenting, which, as I was going through thinking about, gee, I wish you had given us some specific examples. Oh, but you did. You gave us like 3 companies that you work with that are on the list of the top 100. You gave us examples of some companies that you're working with, assisted living. I also had down, if you could, I have to read my own notes, which sometimes is tough to do. How, there's a big okay. Okay. Well, I wanted to see you maybe a little bit more excited. Your persona is to be a very calm persona as you're doing things, which I think lends to credibility, but sometimes a little bit more excitement, like when you brought up the company that you had helped bring to the level of generating $3,000 to $5,000 a week through there. You got excitement, but it was still, your excitement is, I'm excited about that. And I'd say, let a little bit more of that internal gusto come out. And that'll help just kind of punctuate things all the more. You also did a good job with the handout with pictures. And I always think a picture is worth 1,000 words, so I can cut 1,000 words out of the presentation. And you had some good pictures of your ads, which gives us a tangible of how it works. You came out to present the handout also, which is a great way of making us not just focus on our handout, but it brings our attention back to you, which is really great. It's temptation whenever you give a handout is for everyone to stop looking at the presenter and go right to the handout. But you took that away from us by coming out front, so we had to look at you, because you're right in our face then. Excellent, excellent technique, excellent presentation. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so bummed that you went over time. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Our next evaluator today is Jill, who will be evaluating Ron. Jill.
Well, thank you, Ron. I was very inspired this morning. I would say even beyond inspired. I was challenged to go back to the basics. And for any one of you, most of us who have been in business for any length of time, we know how important that message is, to go back to the basics. So I really thank you for that. As far as the delivery, as far as the mechanic of the speech, you did such a great job, Ron. You look nice, you moved around, your tone was very much full of energy, variety, confidence. I think you did a perfect speech to this morning. Really, really good. I remember hearing you speaking a few months back, and I can see the great improvement. I can see the passion. I think that's a subject that you really care about, and we could feel that passion, and that's really what challenged me to really reflect on what you were saying. You also kept it very simple. Keep it simple, stupid, right? We all say that.
Sweetie.
Sweetie? Okay, not stupid, okay. Sweet. That's a problem of translation here, okay?
That's our own twist.
Okay, keep it sweet, simple, sweetie. I like that. I like Thank you, Susie. But it's so true. This is so true. And your speech was straight to the point. You keep it to the basics, keep it to basic. And you gave us a lot of example. You stay in the positive, you encourage us to stay in the positive. If I had one thing to say to your speech, I would have loved you to put a story there, especially maybe in the intro, to give us a little story, something to make it personal or something we can relate. But truly, that'd be really the only thing I would say I would have changed through that speech. I'm going to keep to the basics and say you did an excellent job.
Thank
you. Our next evaluator today, evaluating Debbie, is Pat. Thank you for stepping in.
Service and leadership, an excellent topic and an excellent presentation. I thought the opening was very clear and concise and spoke about authoritarian versus team leadership styles, and throughout your speech worked it into how it applies to the Toastmasters organization and this club in particular. Your eye contact was excellent. Despite having to read from notes, you did engage everybody in the audience. I think your hand gestures were also very inclusive, talking to the group, using your hands in this way. And when we pounced on your hand gestures, worked with your words. I thought also your reference to Ron's speech this morning or Dan's role within the club was a good way of including the individuals in the audience. And I was most impressed by that. Your speech was well-paced, very well-paced, very clear, and I think it enhanced the content of your speech. Although I did hear a hiccup or two, but you recovered very nicely. And it happens to the best of us. I'm always impressed listening to you speak, because I do not hear filler words. Those ahs and ands, so's and buts and to's just do not come in to your speeches, whether they're table topics or a prepared speech. I am so impressed by that and hope I can attain that same level of speech. Your visual aids, clear, concise, well bullet pointed. Your speech enhanced on these bullet points very clearly. It was in order of your speech. It's amazing how many people neglect to do that. So thank you, I appreciated that very much. With respect to the visual aids, this is where I think some improvement could have been had in the speech. It wasn't until the end that I noticed them taped to the table. These are large enough that I think they could have been used as your visual aids, since it's very difficult to use an overhead. Very difficult here. But I think these could have been used and maybe presented a little bit higher so that we all could have noticed them. And from there, I will wrap it up. It was an excellent speech. Thank you very much.
Can I have a timer report, please, for the evaluators?
Everybody qualified.
Thank you. Please take a moment to vote on most improved or best evaluator and pass your votes to